Hello, everyone, and welcome to our video for today. So, today I want to share with you a channeled message that I received from my guides. But before I get into that, I want to ask you a question and I want to kind of tell you about where this message derived from. So, first, the question I want to ask you is, how many times have you been waiting on a phone call, waiting on an email, waiting for someone to answer you, waiting for circumstances, just like kind of looking at things, waiting for that right moment to hit or waiting for that phone call to come in? And it's not until the moment you look away, the moment that you are just finally like, you know what? I don't know when that's going to come. And I don't know how it's going to come, and you just really surrender it. And remember, surrender isn't like giving up, it's giving over to a higher power. It's letting go of what you think and what you think you know, and allowing infinite possibility, allowing infinite intelligence to start guiding your mind and your actions and all of reality for your highest and best good. And so this channel message came, I was because I was listening to Next Level Soul, and the guest of that is Alex Ferrari. I love his show. He's got great channelers on there, mediums, psychics. Like he has such a wonderful, like just such wonderful guests on there. And today, what kind of piqued my attention was he was interviewing a doctor who actually studies psychic mediums and channelers under an EQG machine. And so, he puts the cap on them and, all the little electrodes. And as they are doing a reading, as they are doing a channeling, he actually gets to see the brain waves and like the parts of the brain that are lighting up. And, it was just fascinating to hear about. And then Alex had asked the doctor a question. He was like, well, other than psychic medium, because remember, not all psychics are mediums and not all mediums are psychics or something along those lines. And, he's like, there's energy healing, there's, telekinesis, all these different things. And the doctor was like, yeah, actually, I had tried to do some telekinesis where you make a pinwheel, and the pinwheel you can find anywhere on YouTube, how to make like a little one out of like tinfoil or paper. And you kind of like put it on to like a toothpick or a needle or a nail, something that's going to, hold it up, and then you attempt to move the pinwheel with your mind. And he said he was having like really great success with it, but then he put a glass bowl over it, and that's when he wasn't having as much success. He wasn't able to move it as much. And they were talking, and they both kind of came to the realization that it was all about the power of belief. Somewhere in his mind, he had now limited the amount of energy or force that he could impact upon that little, pinwheel, based because there was a glass bowl. And so that was a limitation he had in his mind. And as I heard that, all of a sudden I heard my guides say, and we are here, which usually means for me that they have a message. So I went to my, notes. I turned on the, talk to text, and I just started. And this was the message that came through. And it says this: it is through the power of surrender that all becomes possible. Let us remind you, you are a co-creator with the divine, and the divine design is infinite in its capacity for possibility. There is nothing the divine cannot do. You have heard the old question, yes? Can God create a boulder so heavy even God cannot lift it? The answer is yes, but only because God has forgotten that it was the one who created the boulder. The divine, or God, source, whatever you want to call it, had forgotten its infinite capacity. It had forgotten what it truly was. In truth, all impossibility is born from a belief in limitation. When you surrender, you are not giving up. You are releasing the mental constructs you've built, the limitations, the false boundaries around what you think is or is not possible. Surrender is the practice of letting go of those inner limitations, whether they appear as doubt, control, fear, or needing to know. Everything you see in the world is made up of the same source as you. There is nothing separate. So to surrender is to remember. What are you remembering? You are remembering the truth of who and what you are. You are returning to the truth that all is one, that you are one with the infinite divine creator, and you are part of it. You are part of the infinite possibility. And so that is the message that I received. And so if we dive a little bit deeper into that, we can say that the power of surrender is, again, your ability to let go of your own expectations of how you think something should go, how you think something should look. Like I was saying in the beginning, it is releasing, letting go of everything you think and think you know, and allowing yourself to be guided by that infinite intelligence towards your highest and best good. That's all surrender is. It's not like this big mystical thing. It's not something that you are going to also just get right off, right off the bat. Sometimes you're able to, surrender something really easily because it doesn't really take up a lot of focus. You have an understanding of, you know what, there's nothing I can do about it. So I'm willing to take a step back and just let the chips fall where they may. And then other times you feel really emotionally charged about something. And if you are feeling that emotional charge, that's absolutely fine. But again, pay attention. Is that emotional charge fear? Is it control? Is it blame? Is it shame? Is it guilt? If it's any of those, that's where we need to, or is it that I need to know? If it's any of those, that's where we got to stop. And, one great way to begin to release those emotions is through EFT tapping. And there are, Brad Yates, Robin Duncan, fabulous EFT tappers. And that can really give you scripts, to really help you to release that emotional charge, which is then going to help you to surrender more fully and completely. But remember, the divine isn't asking you to surrender perfectly. It's just asking you to be willing to surrender. So really look at your life, like right now. I mean, and we're getting close to the Lionsgate portal, which is a powerful energetic gateway. And I would invite you, look at areas of your life where you may still have doubt and fear or blame or shame or guilt or that need to know, that urgency. Look at those areas and first ask yourself, how is that working out for you? How is worrying about it, doubting it, trying to force the answer to come? How is that working out? Is it working out well? Are you happy? Are you excited? Are you is everything is your heart's greatest desire manifest? Or are you working so hard that you're exhausted? And then the second question is, are you willing to release even just the tiniest little bit of that and giving that just a tiny little bit over to the divine? And a great way that you can practice this, because sometimes things just seem really big and you're like, oh my God, this is impossible. I can't, I don't know how. That's okay. I always invite people to start small. You don't need to do this big, grand thing. Start very small. Maybe start asking spirit, like, what's one area of your life that you would be willing to give over to spirit? Maybe it's just having a consistent parking spot, a really good, consistent parking spot at work. Maybe it's just about having really good, consistent, traffic or direction, whatever it may be. What's something that's not really important to you that you're willing to say, you know what? Divine, God, source, spirit, angels, guides, whatever you ascribe to your higher power, I'm willing to give this over to you in whatever small way. Because again, that's all spirit is ever asking for. And the moment that you're willing to do that and you start to see success, that's going to start you being like, okay, well, if I've given that over and this is starting to heal, this is starting to, and actually, I don't want to use the word heal. This is starting to reveal my wholeness. This is starting to reveal more of the truth of who I am, how life really is supporting me, and how I am so supported, how I am so loved. Look at this. And then you'll start applying it to other areas and more and more and more. And again, surrender is a daily practice. It's not something that you're just going to get automatically off the bat. I mean, you may be able to, but for a majority of us, including myself, it is a daily practice. Now, I trust spirit. When it comes to readings, forget about it, right? I'm like, oh my God, spirit, you guide me, use me, move me, I'm ready. And whatever random stuff comes to me, I get. But then there are other areas of my life where I'm like, oh, I need to control this. I need to be in charge. Well, that's something else you can really look at. Who's the I that needs to be in charge? Is it your little I, the self, the ego that you have made? Or are you willing to let your I am presence, the self that the divine created? And notice the difference there. You made the ego, which means it can be reshaped, remade, but the divine created you. And once something is created, it cannot be uncreated. So it cannot be changed because it was created, not made, but created. So I thank you for joining me. I thank you for being here, and I'll talk with you soon. Bye for now.